A Shalom, Call Allah, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim Chakodash, the ones apostles of great millstone, and Shalom to brothers in the highways and byways, doing the work sincerely and faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith, Lord willing. We have found that number to be delivered, right? So this one's going to be off one of the current events that's trending right now concerning the H5N1, which is the bird flu. And, we've heard the story time and time again. It'll pop up, then, then go, mysteriously just fade away. Different things, start popping up as far as these diseases are concerned, right? But the interesting thing about this is that this movie here, right, and it's on Prime, Amazon Prime. The interesting thing about this, everything that is going on here in Babylon right now is incorporated in this movie. The fall of the economy, the bird flu itself, the vaccines, and it becoming so strong that nothing can combat it. All right, so there's a lot of different components in this movie that are actually taking place right now. And if you notice, you don't really hear too much about this H5N1 bird flu. The first case was over in Texas, and now I believe there's a case over in the Carolinas or Virginia somewhere. We're gonna play a couple quick clips. But yeah. Also in this, they're predicting that there could possibly be 350 million people that are gonna be unalive because of this. All right. Now, going way back, if y'all remember that movie Long Kiss Goodnight, and I'm gonna bring this out because I believe that was in 1996 when that came out. But there was a scene in there that talks about 9/11, right? And I'm bringing that out because this bird flu, it has the same foundation, same platform, if you will. It's a lot of moving parts. A lot of the governors in the country come together and start trying to work out a plan. So they're pretty much telling you, what their plan is, right? So let me play this quick clip from Long Kiss Goodnight. And, some brothers may remember it, but check it out.
I'm gonna miss you, Major. You aren't ready to stay dead. You don't know the rules of the game anymore.
Tell me about it. 8 years ago, this guy was on the hit list.
Budget cuts, dear. Congress blinded us overseas. I was forced to turn to any eyes and ears I could find, even if that meant recruiting the quote-unquote bad guys here.
Budget cuts? Is that what this is about? Operation Honeymoon. Fuck me. You're running a fundraiser.
Fundraiser?
1993. World Trade Center bombing, remember? During the trial, one of the bombers claimed the CIA had advanced knowledge. The diplomat who issued the terrorist visa was CIA. It's not unthinkable they paved the way for the bombing purely to justify a budget increase.
You're telling me that you're going to fake some terrorist thing just to scare some money out of Congress?
Well, unfortunately, Mr. Hennessy, I have no idea how to fake killing 4,000 people. So we're just going to have to do it for real. Oh, blame it on the Muslims, naturally. Then I get my funding. Good night, old girl. Timothy, I'll be in Chopper 1.
Right, so I'm sure y'all who've seen that remember that movie. And basically they broke it down, telling you how they were going to strategically, ask for some type of funding, because when 9/11 took place, there was all kinds of funding for this group, that group. There's all types of shit going on. But remember, there was just about 4,000 people that had perished, if you will, in that 9/11 thing. All right. So all that being said, this bird flu, and the actual name is Fatal Contact Bird Flu in America, and it has that same, like I said, that same platform where they're giving away a lot of nuggets and telling you, you know, what's on the horizon, right? So let me play another clip. Let me go here with this one here. Now this is just confirming the two cases. This was 9 hours ago, this clip here.
This morning, after the discovery of a second human case of bird flu linked to dairy cows, the CDC is warning more cases are likely. Authorities say a Michigan farm worker has recovered from mild symptoms.
There's still very limited information about cases of avian influenza in humans. There's been so few cases that we're still learning about where this infection spreads.
Back in March, a farm worker in Texas was diagnosed with the first human case of bird flu tied to dairy cows. Both the Texas and Michigan patients who worked with cows both reported eye infections. The CDC says it's tested only 40 people since March. The Michigan farm worker was one of those tested. But with bird flu outbreaks in cattle now reported in 9 states, in dozens of herds, experts say the infection is likely even more widespread.
We need to maintain testing, especially in our farm worker community, because that prolonged exposure to cattle does mean it's possible we may see additional incidental cases.
The CDC is warning states to keep up flu surveillance during the normally slow summer months. Still, experts say the risk of a widespread infection among humans is low.
So far, we're not seeing any signs of widespread transmission or any signs of human-to-human transmission of this virus. It's very much concentrated in livestock, with now a few cases now being observed in farmers.
All right, so you get the gist of what's happening here. Now, these two cases, Texas and Michigan, right? And what's going to ultimately end up happening is it's going to start spreading to these farms, and then that's going to mean what? No food, no meats, if you will, for those who eat meat. Ain't no meat. All right, and then you're gonna have some human to human transmission. All right, and then that whole shit is just gonna start steamrolling from there. And they kind of break it down in the movie. In that movie, they break it down just like that. No contact, no human contact. There's no, there's no traces of it. Then all of a sudden, bam, that shit just started, flowing right through people. And again, I believe that this is going to be, it could possibly be another segue into the demise or the collapsing of the dollar, because in that movie, again, it makes mention of how the economy is collapsing. Roughly speaking, in rough terms, they're making, they're giving you how it's getting dismal as far as, people being able to buy things and so on and so forth, right? Okay, so there's one more clip I want to play. Now, this is an actual clip from the movie itself. Fatal contact, bird flu in America. Now, the crazy thing is, this was from 2006, all right? So they understood and they knew what the game plan was, if you will, for the latter times. And these times we're living in, all right? Let me play this real quick.
Dr. Varnick, I hope your efforts there are proving more successful than our own. These are dark times indeed. The reason for my writing is to let you know that our common foe has mutated yet again. The H5 has become resistant to antivirals, which means we have no more weapons left with which to fight. The government is keeping it quiet, but we are in terrible trouble. What you have witnessed so far has been bad, I know. But America and the rest of the world must prepare for worse. Much, much worse.
All right. So again, it's getting to the point where, you know, as he said in this little clip, the government is hiding it from us, because the government's always going to downplay shit. They're going to downplay it until that go ahead. All right. So with all that being said, let me get a couple of these scriptures. Now, before I do that, now keeping remember the Georgia Guidestones. All right, the Georgia Guidestones, which are no longer standing. But in the Georgia Guidestones, one of the top commandments was to maintain humanity to 500 million, which was in accord with nature. All right. Now, the only way they can succeed in something like that is to do what? Bring some type of pestilence, bring some type of disease on the planet. All right. And in that movie, like I said, they talked about 350 million people could possibly be made unalive in that thing. So it's so, you know, all in all, you know, Billy Gates of hell, all these scientists, even Trump had said there was going to be another, you know, pandemic, you know. So this would be the perfect time to start, you know, planting that seed in the people's mind. All right. And again, like we always say, Esau ain't afraid to shut shit down. He's not afraid to shut it down, as he's already shown and proved. All right. But I wanted to bring that up from the Georgia Guidestones, because that was a major thing to say as far as maintaining humanity to 500 million. All right. That's a lot of people that got to be put to death from a place that has over 7 billion people on it. All right. All right. So let me see. This is the CDC updated May 24. H5 bird flu is widespread in wild birds worldwide and is causing outbreaks in poultry in the U.S. Dairy cows with 2 cases of H5 in U.S. dairy workers. All right. So again, they're strategically putting that out there. All right, and then it's going to be worldwide, globally. All right. So now here it is. It says total report human cases in the United States 3. All right, since 2022. 2 following exposures in dairy cow, blah blah blah. So ain't much really, again, the downplay. It's the downplay what we're seeing here. But all in all, it's going to heat up, I believe. And again, we don't really have any concrete, but just seeing how things are aligning right now. All right, things are aligning in the sense of, prophecies are coming to pass. Things are starting to go down. So why not now? Why not now? This is Matthew 24 and 22. It says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. All right. We out here, those who are out here doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, the hope for the elect, the Lord's going to shorten this thing up, because Esau is going to come down, man. This thing is going to get ugly, and it's going to get nasty. People have been rocked right to sleep since that C-19. And then all of a sudden, the turning and changing of events, which also is going to make this thing that much more, exciting, is the fact that they may drop the dollar at this time. All right. And by dropping that dollar, by having this food system shut down, by having, no cure for whatever this H5N1 is going to bring, shit, it's gonna be on out here, man. But we have the hope for the elect. We hope and pray that Yahweh Shai Shai watch over us, you know, because we got to keep in mind, man, the Lord is using Esau as a sword, right? You know, we always talk about Esau full of shit, which he is. We're always talking about he's a devil, which he is. But at the same time, he's also being used by the Lord as a sword. And you fuck around with the Lord, he will send his sword after you. So this is why we gotta continually pray without ceasing, and you know, hoping and praying that the Lord watch over the brothers in the brotherhood and all those who are associated and affiliated with us. All right, let's continue on. This is Baruch chapter 2. Now, all things written in Baruch chapter 2 was towards and for the children of Israel, because they have turned their back on the Lord. All right, but at the same time, you know, these things that are now happening are these things that happened in the past are now being done in the present. All right, and now Esau is now being the recipient of these things. Esau in these heathenistic nations. All right, this is Baruch 2:25, and it says, "And lo," and again, this was towards Israel at one point during the captivity. It says, "And lo, they are cast out of the heat of the day into the frost of the night, and they die in great miseries by famine, by sword, and by pestilence." All right. Now we can attribute that to this place, because this is exactly what's coming here. Great miseries, famine, sword, and pestilence. All right. These are all top-notch categories that you are now going to start seeing unfold right here in Babylon the Great, man. All right. And even with that, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. And again, it makes mention of what? It says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in latter times shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." All right. So there's no getting around what's about to start going down, man. Great miseries are going to be plaguing the people, also with those pestilence. Now, if this H5N1, if this thing takes off, you know, like I believe it's going to, you know, it's going to cause a lot of damage. And there's going to be a lot of dead people. Now, in that movie, it kind of went, you know, state by state, showing each state how many people had succumbed to this virus. And again, it's a generic base type movie. You know, you got the same kind of same kind of format as that movie Contagion with Matt Damon. You know, the same kind of format as you see in that movie Outbreak rather. You know, and in the common theme, if you will, is the disease or pestilence coming from China. You know, Esau always likes to blame everything on China, man. They blame it on the Chinamen. It's their fault. You know, just like this movie, just like Contagion, and a couple of the other movies, everything derived out of China. Which, again, that's Esau's MO. You know, he always liked to be behind the curtain, doing all kinds of damage and blaming it on other people. All right. But that being said, there's going to be many great miseries to the people, man. It's not going to be slack. They're looking to take out some lives, man. Okay. This is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence." This is the time. This is the time that these prophecies and the prophets are speaking of. Because everything has a check mark. You know? It says prophesying against many countries, check. In great kingdoms, check. Of war, check. of evil, check, and of pestilence, check. All right? We have prophesied these things in this time period right now. This is what you could call a perfect storm, if you will. And now there's only one thing left to happen, for the end to come. All right? But you best believe whatever pestilence the Lord sends over, whether it be this H5N1, whether it be that or something else, whatever the Lord has prepared, it's going to do some damage, man. It's going to do a lot of damage. All right? But we of the hopeful elect, from the head apostles on down, and all those, affiliate brothers who are with us, may the Lord watch over us and protect us. Because the scripture says they shall be like madmen, sparing none. That shit ain't written just because, man. Things ain't written just because. This is exactly what the Lord has set these devils up for. This is exactly what he's going to have them do. All right? So that all in all being said, man, this bird flu is here, man. It's in America. If you brothers get a chance to go check it out. And again, I'm not really saying the movie's, a jaw dropper, but they're hitting all the key points that America's actually going through right now. All right? So Lord willing, I'm going to see y'all in another one. Go check this movie out. I say shalom.